Hello everybody, Mr. Vendetta back again. I have video number 15 for you today, and it is our last video. For today's video, all I'm going to do is read you a story. It's one of my favorite stories. It's very good for the end of the school year when you're finishing kindergarten and first grade. The story's called Where Does the Trail Lead? A trail is like a path, and the story's about a little boy who follows a trail, discovers a lot of interesting things along the way. Let's get right into the story. Take a look. Okay, so here we have the cover of our book, Where Does the Trail Lead? By Burton Albert, illustrated by Brian Pinkney. The book level is 24, which is about the middle of second grade level. Here's our little boy, and we can see a little bit of the trail that he's walking on. I see some wildflowers growing. I see something wooden here. And I think I see the ocean in the background. Let's find out what it's all about. On Summertime Island, where does the trail lead? Over hills and hollows of buttercups and snapdragons. Buttercups and snapdragons are wildflowers. To a lighthouse at the edge of the sea. Do you remember what we call the edge of the sea? It was one of California's 4 natural regions. It was called the coast. Looks like a windy day. I see the sails on that sailboat are blowing quite a bit. Where does the trail lead? Past tree limbs bent by the wind and tide pools of periwinkles. Periwinkles are snails. They're a type of sea snail. To gulls, seagulls, in flight at the edge of the sea. Boy, I see a lot of white caps on that water. That's another sign that it is a windy day. Here's our sailboat again. Where does the trail lead? Among families of pheasant and rabbits in blueberries. Pheasants are birds. To the crest of dunes at the edge of the sea. Dunes are giant sand hills right by the coast or the ocean. Here's our sailboat again. It seems to be going in the same direction that the little boy is going. On Summertime Island, where does the trail lead? Beside old tracks grown over with grass where a rickety train once ran. I wonder what rickety means. Rickety. To a ghost town of shanties at the edge of the sea. A ghost town is a town where people used to live, but nobody lives there anymore. What do you think a shanty is? Can you think of another word for a shanty? Maybe a shack? An old house that's kind of falling apart? Nobody lives there anymore? Where does the trail lead? Over the crunch of pine needles. Remember, we learned about pine needles when we were learning about leaves a couple of weeks ago. Dried and brown, beneath the V's and honks of geese. Well, I know a honk is a sound that a goose makes, but I wonder what he means by the V's. Can you see anything on this page that's shaped like a V? I bet you can. to a boat's bow of cattails at the edge of the sea. The bow is the front of the boat, and these plants, wildflowers, are called cattails. Can you figure out why they're called cattails? Look at the shape. Where does the trail lead? Down a zigzag of ruts from trucks in the sand, along railings of fence on a rocky rim. A rim is an edge. I wonder what's on the other side of that rim. To the roar of surfers' waves at the edge of the sea. On Summertime Island, where does the trail lead? Back to the crackle of campfires and the smell of fresh caught fish. It looks like the trail is leading him right back to his his family. To the shimmerings and shadows of a sinking sun. Shimmerings. See the light out here? It's shimmering. It appears to be moving, maybe because of the wind, and if the light touches the water, it definitely shimmers because the water makes the light move. I don't think this is a shanty, though. I think this is where they come for their summer vacations. In the twilight at the edge of the sea. I'm going to read that last page one more time. To the shimmerings and shadows of a sinking sun. In the twilight at the edge of the sea. Look at this time of day right here. Evening, which is right after supper time, is just ending. The sun is almost going down, but it's not quite nighttime yet. This is twilight. It's that time in between the sun setting and night beginning. Twilight. So that is our story called Where Does the Trail Lead? Now, why is that story a good story for the end of the year? Well, because you and I have been on a trail together this year. Not the kind of trail that the little boy in the story was on. We've been on the kindergarten trail, and we've been on the first grade trail together. And I'm so happy that I got a chance to share your trail with you and be your teacher this year. I'm sorry that our school year got cut short. That wasn't very fun. But you've done an absolutely beautiful job at home. I know it's been a struggle having your classroom inside your house and mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, your parents being your teacher. But I think that you've done a wonderful job, and I think you've tried very, very hard. Parents and grandparents and caretakers, aunts, uncles, cousins, I want to thank you so much for stepping up and facing this challenge with me. It was tough, but we got through it, and we will get through whatever's coming next. If all goes well, I will see you back on August 13th for the first day of school. Kindergartners will be with me. First graders for first grade. First graders, you'll be moving on to one of the second grade teachers, but remember, in my heart, I am always your teacher. Always. So if you need me, just come and get me. We've had a very successful school year, despite the school year ending and school having to close. Before we closed, all of our first graders were reading. Many of our first graders were reading well above grade level into the second and third grade levels. Kindergartners were, some of you were starting to read, and all of you were sounding out words and reading simple sentences. In math, you learned so much about numbers and adding and subtracting, but you also learned to see numbers in different ways, as pictures and as artwork. And you learned to see art as math work. You became wonderful artists. You created some beautiful art. You were scientists. Our engineering project, our inventions project got cut short. We weren't able to finish it, but the progress that you made on it was wonderful. You worked very hard and you worked together. It has been a successful year for us. And next year we will continue to be successful, whether you're with me or whether you're with one of our other fantastic teachers at Wren Avenue, or if you're off to another school. If you are leaving Wren, please know that I'm very sad to say goodbye, and I hope that our trails cross again sometime in the future. Parents, I'll be putting some information on the website about summer learning suggestions and opportunities. And also on the website, if you check video support for video 15, you'll find a writing activity to go along with Where Does the Trail Lead? Now, this is an activity that I would love you to share with your child. I want everybody to actually do the writing, kindergarten and first graders. You can add pictures if you'd like, but this is definitely a project that you could share with each other. And if you'd like to show it to me, you can submit it through Seesaw, but you don't have to. It's one of those things that I would love for you to keep and look back on in the future. So please stay in touch. If you need my cell phone number, just let me know through Remind. Look for the summer learning suggestions and summer learning opportunities on the website later this week. And remember that you are more than welcome to stay in touch with me all summer long. If there's anything I can do to support you and your family, I will do what I can. And if you have any questions or any concerns, or you just want to talk, please don't hesitate to call. Have a wonderful summer. Remember, I am thinking about you always. I am missing you very, very much. So take care, and I will see you very soon.